There's a thrill in a well-told heist story, the kind of thrill that keeps you on the edge of your seat, heart pounding as you follow the intricate dance of criminals and law enforcement. The meticulous planning, the daring execution, the tantalizing possibility of getting away with it all. It's a narrative that has fascinated people for generations, a blend of intellect and audacity that few can resist. In 1950, Boston held its breath as news of the Great Brinks Robbery broke. The city was captivated. It was a time when the world seemed a bit simpler, yet this crime was anything but. This wasn't just any robbery, it was audacious, meticulously planned, and executed with almost unbelievable precision. The kind of precision that made people question everything they thought they knew about security. The target? The supposedly impenetrable Brinks building, home to millions in cash and securities, a fortress in the heart of the city, thought to be invulnerable. The newspapers couldn't get enough of it. Every detail, every rumor, was devoured by a public both shocked and strangely thrilled. It was the talk of the town, a story that seemed to grow with each retelling. It was a crime that captured the imagination, a real-life Robin Hood tale, albeit with far more complex characters and far less noble intentions. The robbers were seen as both villains and anti-heroes, a duality that only added to the allure. The sheer audacity of the crime, the apparent ease with which the perpetrators vanished into thin air, gripped the city. It was as if they had pulled off the impossible, leaving everyone to wonder how they did it. The Brinks robbery wasn't just about the money, though the amount stolen was staggering for its time. It was about the challenge, the thrill of outsmarting a system that was supposed to be foolproof. It was about the challenge, the outsmarting of a system. The robbers had turned the heist into a game of wits, a battle of intellects where the stakes were incredibly high. It was a story of meticulous planning, of disguises, and of a city left wondering how such a thing could happen right under their noses. The robbers had blended into the fabric of the city, becoming invisible in plain sight. The robbers had studied the routines, learned the guards' habits, and exploited every weakness. They had turned observation into an art form, knowing exactly when and where to strike. They were ghosts, shadows who slipped in and out, leaving behind a city in shock and awe. Their ability to disappear so completely only added to the mystique of the crime. The Great Brinks Robbery became a story whispered in hushed tones, a cautionary tale, and a source of endless fascination. It was a story that seemed to defy logic, a puzzle that everyone wanted to solve. It became a symbol of both criminal ingenuity and the fragility of security, a stark reminder that even the most fortified walls could be breached. It was a lesson in vulnerability, a wake-up call for those who believed in the infallibility of their defenses. And at the heart of it all was a cast of characters as intriguing as the heist itself. Each one brought their own skills, their own stories, adding layers of complexity to an already fascinating tale. The Great Brinks Robbery wasn't just a crime, it was a saga, a legend that would be told and retold for generations to come. Every great heist needs a mastermind, and the architect behind the Brinks job was Joseph "Specs" O'Keefe. Known for his piercing gaze and sharp mind, O'Keefe was a man who could see opportunities where others saw only obstacles. A small-time hoodlum with a sharp mind and even sharper ambition, O'Keefe was an unlikely criminal mastermind. He grew up in the tough streets of Boston, where he learned the art of survival and the nuances of human behavior. He wasn't physically imposing like some of his associates, but he possessed a keen intellect and a talent for strategic thinking. His mind was always working, always planning, always a step ahead. O'Keefe was a man who saw opportunities where others saw only obstacles. He had an uncanny ability to read people and situations, to see the hidden potential in every scenario. He was a keen observer of human nature, a trait that proved invaluable in his line of work. He could tell when someone was lying, when they were nervous, and when they could be manipulated. O'Keefe understood people's weaknesses, their routines, and their vulnerabilities. He knew when they would be most vulnerable and how to exploit those moments to his advantage. He knew how to exploit trust and manipulate situations to his advantage. This skill made him a formidable opponent and a valuable ally in the world of crime. This understanding of human behavior, coupled with his meticulous planning, would become the cornerstones of his audacious plan. He left nothing to chance. Every detail was scrutinized, every eventuality accounted for. The idea for the Brinks job had been brewing in O'Keefe's mind for months. He had heard whispers of the vast sums of money stored in the Brinks building, a fortress of security in the heart of Boston. He'd heard whispers of the vast sums of money stored in the Brinks building, a fortress of security in the heart of Boston. To O'Keefe, it wasn't just a building, it was a challenge, a symbol of the establishment he disdained. To O'Keefe, it wasn't just a building, it was a challenge, a symbol of the establishment he disdained. He saw it as an opportunity to prove himself, to show the world what he was capable of, and he was determined to conquer it. He began to assemble a crew, a team of men with the skills and nerve to pull off the impossible. Each member was carefully selected for their unique abilities and their loyalty to O'Keefe. O'Keefe knew that success hinged on meticulous planning and absolute secrecy. He drilled his crew on every aspect of the plan, ensuring that everyone knew their role and the importance of sticking to it. He instilled in his crew the importance of discipline, loyalty, and above all, silence. He knew that one loose tongue could bring the whole operation crashing down. Their lives, their freedom, depended on it. The stakes were high, and O'Keefe made sure everyone understood the gravity of the situation. The planning was meticulous, every detail scrutinized, every eventuality accounted for. O'Keefe left nothing to chance, knowing that even the smallest oversight could be their undoing. O'Keefe was the conductor, orchestrating a symphony of criminal intent, and his orchestra was about to take the stage. The Brinks job was more than just a heist. It was a testament to O'Keefe's vision, his intellect, and his unyielding determination to succeed against all odds. The underworld of 1950s Boston was a shadowy realm of grifters, thieves, and mobsters, each with their own code of conduct and their own ambitions. It was from this milieu that O'Keefe assembled his crew for the Brinks job, a motley group of men bound by loyalty, ambition, and the promise of a life-changing score. Among them was Anthony "Fats" Pino, a seasoned safecracker with a reputation for quiet efficiency and nerves of steel. Pino was the antithesis of the flashy gangster stereotype. He was quiet, meticulous, and possessed an almost artistic talent for manipulating intricate mechanisms. His ability to crack safes was legendary, and his presence on the team was non-negotiable for O'Keefe. Then there was Stanley Gusciora, a skilled getaway driver with a penchant for fast cars and taking risks. The rest of the crew was a mix of muscle, inside men, and specialists, each chosen for their unique skills and their ability to blend into the background. There was Jazz Maffey, a master of disguises, and Henry Baker, a strong-arm man with a fearsome reputation. O'Keefe had assembled a team of specialists, each a master in their own right. They were the shadows of the underworld, operating in the fringes of society, their true faces hidden behind aliases and carefully constructed facades. What bound this disparate group together was a shared belief in O'Keefe's vision and the promise of a life-altering payday. The risks were enormous, but so too were the potential rewards. They were about to embark on a mission that would forever etch their names into the annals of criminal history. The success of the Brinks job hinged on meticulous planning and an almost obsessive attention to detail. Every single aspect of the operation was scrutinized, analyzed, and perfected to ensure that nothing was left to chance. O'Keefe knew that the Brinks building was no ordinary target. It was a symbol of security and invulnerability, a challenge that few would dare to take on. It was a fortress, designed to be impenetrable. The walls were thick, the doors reinforced, and the security measures state-of-the-art for its time. To crack it, he would need to understand its every rhythm, every routine. The timing of every action, the pattern of every movement, had to be known and anticipated. He sent his crew on reconnaissance missions day after day, observing the comings and goings, mapping out guard patrols, studying the habits of the employees. They became invisible shadows, blending into the background as they gathered crucial intelligence. Every detail mattered: the timing of shift changes, the placement of security cameras, the types of locks used on the doors and vaults. They noted the make and model of every piece of equipment, the routines of the guards, and even the quirks of the building's architecture. O'Keefe was meticulous, demanding absolute precision from his team. He drilled them relentlessly, ensuring that every member knew their role inside and out. He knew that even the smallest oversight could spell disaster. A single mistake could unravel the entire plan, leading to capture or worse. They practiced the heist repeatedly, refining their movements, synchronizing their actions like a well-oiled machine. Each rehearsal brought them closer to perfection, each mistake a lesson learned. The crew acquired identical uniforms to those worn by Brinks employees, complete with fake badges and identification. They studied the mannerisms and behaviors of the real employees, mimicking them to avoid detection. They procured a duplicate getaway car, identical in make and model to one used by a local company, to avoid arousing suspicion. The car was modified to ensure it could handle the demands of a high-speed escape. Every aspect of the heist was carefully choreographed, each movement timed to the second. The precision was akin to a dance, where every step had to be in perfect harmony with the others. O'Keefe had transformed a seemingly impossible task into a series of manageable steps, each one carefully planned and rehearsed. The team moved with the confidence of performers who had mastered their routine. The key to their plan was timing. Every second counted, and there was no room for error. They would strike on a Thursday night, a traditionally slow night for cash deliveries and pickups. This choice minimized the risk of encountering unexpected obstacles. They knew that the building's alarm system was deactivated for a brief period during shift changes. This window of opportunity was their golden ticket. They would exploit this vulnerability, slipping in and out during that crucial window. The timing had to be perfect, down to the last second. The plan was audacious, bordering on insane, but O'Keefe had instilled in his crew an unwavering belief in its meticulous design. They trusted in the plan, in their preparation, and in each other. The routes were mapped out with military precision, every turn and stop calculated to avoid detection. The team knew the city like the back of their hands, every alley and side street memorized. In the final days leading up to the heist, the team went over the plan again and again, leaving nothing to chance. They were ready, and the stage was set for one of the most daring heists in history.